Hey everybody, it's Dimo here. So the new patch number 45 has come out. Pretty much with this patch, they nerfed Warlock and explosive bottles. That's about it. They also fixed the Gosking. But we're not gonna talk about the Gosking. We're gonna talk about something a lot more dramatic, a lot more sad, and a little bit stressful. The multi-class system is about to begun within a fucking week. As for the now, you get to experiment with anything you want because the cooldown does not exist. So you can roll all you want and, to get the right perks. But hear me out. This is the problem that we currently have. The Iron Mace made stupid amount of hype to let people, farm their characters, to level up, something to strive for, like something to achieve. So then they just get to remove the whole progression of people who actually were interested in multiclass in a blink of a fucking eye. I'm gonna be honest, if not for the multiclass, I wouldn't even be playing this game so much because there is not even that much content to begin with, especially for people who are interested in theory crafting, for people who are interested in doing something new, something refreshing, like, doing something actually interesting for the community. And they just simply decide to remove the whole niche that, players or content creators like myself like are really into. While I do understand this, basically the multiclass isn't, just for the content creators, it's for everybody, and it may not be as accessible for the average player, but listen, the average player would get farmed one way or another by the people who are competitive. If you're an average player who play 1 hour per day, it would take you fucking, I know, 3-4 months to get anywhere like in this game. Like if you want to get more or less competitive in this game, you gotta play, I know, 3, 4, 5 hours a day. And until you figure out stuff, once you figure that out, you will hone your skill in the battlefield, in the PvP with the right gear. You'll get used to the specific items that you have, and you will be able to, go and learn and practice how to properly use your gear set. Pretty much currently your gear set is the extension of your skill. So pretty much, yeah, the better you can acquire the gear, the better your skill is. That's the state of the game. Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind that. But listen, all right, I don't even want to talk about this in particular because that's just a whole another topic, a whole another discussion. People who just stat check everyone and just rely on good gear. Well, I mean, you're not good in particular, but you're just good at acquiring good gear, but you're not good in general. Like, that's just my whole point. So, yeah, the multiclass is about to be done in 1 week. Why? Iron Mace, why would you fucking do us like this? I don't understand. You gave us a goal in mind. You made us fucking drool over like the potential content that we would have for duration of like fucking 2 months, and then once this timer has, well, actually the promises of a multi-class being there for a lot longer, for like 3 or something months, like people were extremely interested to test the multi-class out and everything, and then they just said to fucking let us play for 2 weeks, make it extremely broken. Like during this 2 weeks there was a stupid amount of issues with the multi-class, there were stupid amount of balances they did address, they did fix a lot of things, but the problem is we were hyped for such a stupid amount of time to be able to test, experiment, and make some cool builds and make something innovative, something new, just for you to fucking remove it in 3 weeks. Iron Mace, seriously? I'm gonna be honest, I am okay with any decisions you make, guys, any decision, but removing such a stupid amount of content in a matter of a blink of an eye, I think is a stupidly dumb and horrible fucking idea. Like, I absolutely don't appreciate what you guys did because I genuinely enjoyed multiclass. People who are bad at this game, who cannot get used to multiclass, they will be farmed one way or another by the multiclass is gonna be gone. There's gonna be the same boring fucking BOC meta of warlocks. It got nerfed in a half, but it only got nerfed by actually a third than a half, because the number would go from 20 to 15 in reality, of stacking damage, which at the end of the day is gonna still remain the same garbage. Like, it's gonna be the same boring meta, it's gonna be a fucking range meta, wizard meta, like, it's gonna be boring. The wizard's gonna cry about fucking rogues with cutthroat. The rogue's gonna cry about barbarians and fighters. Barbarians fucking, I don't know, I don't think they ever cry. They can't simply cry, physically not implemented in their common behavior. Barbarians just don't give a shit. If they die, they'll just fucking put it there another pair of pants and will go slay chicks in their very next game. And, you know, the list goes on. I'm not even sure, like, speaking of Rangers, Rangers just fucking do cry in general because they just fucking cry. They're like, oh man, we don't have, like, you know, why can't we not kill everyone and everything in this game? Fucking the average Ranger player. Like, so, yeah, I don't know, man. I had a lot of fun. I think the game felt really fresh. Not sure what the player base currently. Oh, the current, yeah, well, I mean, the people are already leaving because the server will be down for maintenance, so if you left the game is gone. Before this, there was 10,000 people, and I think the game is fine. 10,000 people is a lot more than fucking 5,000 that was at the end of the previous leaderboard, and why don't you just fucking keep it? Why don't you keep what works? I don't understand this. I genuinely don't understand this. There's gonna be a lot of people who are gonna cry in general chat. They're gonna cry one way or another because people need something to complain about. People need something to cry about. Even if they do, even if you do everything that they fucking want, they will leave this game no matter your choice. And I'll explain why. Because people will get bored and tired of the same repetitive gameplay that the game is going to have extremely fucking soon, right after the multi-class is gonna be over. The game is gonna go back to its current normal state. It's just gonna be done. And the game is gonna be, yeah, I mean, the multi-class is gonna be done. The game is just gonna be like fighters, meta, killing everyone, and little struggling against wizards, and maybe a little bit of against warlocks. Then barbarians who will just maul through everyone and everything, and then rogues who would fucking maul wizards with the cutthroat and will suck a dick from every other class. The game is gonna be back to that. And who fucking wants that? I don't understand. Who thinks that's a good idea? And I'll explain to you who thinks that's a good idea. People who are abusing the fuck out of the fighter class, people who are just playing their one thing that they are good at, people who can't adjust, people who can't learn new things, people who are not innovative, people who fucking suck. And basically, pretty much that's about it. So yeah, guys, multi-class about to be done in 1 week. I already mentioned that 20 times. As for now, I'm gonna be working on the fast baron build. I'm gonna make another video. I will try to make a little cool gear set for Barb, and we'll try to make a lot of move speed. And also I'm gonna play with the Felon Axe. Hopefully I'm gonna do a good game, and I will do a little experiment, and I hopefully will be able to make a decent chunk of content just out of one single game. And I actually want to do this for the testing purposes, to see whether or not the YouTube algorithm will like just a single game with lots of commentaries. Other than that, also I want to do a little flying rogue build. I want to do a rogue build that can fly. Basically, in order to make this build work, you need the backstep, you need sprint, and you need a double jump. So you would be able to run at the march speed and fly through the dungeon. So that's another build that I want to run. Weapon mastery you need for either crossbow or survival bow. I think I'm going to stick with survival bow. So those are the two videos that I'm going to work on further down the line. So yeah, I just want to say farewell to multi-class. Multi-class, I love you and I'm gonna miss you a lot. Iron Mace, this is a stupid fucking decision. You know, you want a good suggestion? Keep the multi-class until you have your class system ready, and then, you know, remove the multi-class and give players new fresh content, because the game was extremely fresh and pretty interesting to play, but now it's gonna go back to boring Dark and Darker. Why it's boring? It's not going to be boring for newer players, but for players who are playing the game as much as I do, like, the game gonna get back to the state when it's kind of boring, you know what I mean? So yeah, anyway, it's Dimo, I'll see you in a dungeon, and I'm gonna go do another video.